Hey, welcome back, fam, to the Crypto Joe channel. I am Joe. So naturally, when something happens with one of my bigger bags, I'd like to find out what's going on, and you should know as well. And I know plenty of times your time is extremely important, so things come up like Algorand is partnered with this person. You're like, oh, cool, it's a partnership. And your time is valuable, so I'll try to make this quick. And I'm going to tell you what I kind of like and what I kind of don't like about this. So real quick, from the Algorand Foundation. Algorand Foundation partners with Wavelength to support the development of a decentralized social network. February 9th, 2022, they welcomed Wavelength. Wavelength won the 250, I think it was, 200, yes, $250 million grant. So I was kind of wondering what Wavelength was, went to their platform here. Quality over quantity. Their post and share restrictions of one per day incentivize mindful posting and preserve your news feed from unnecessary clutter. Basically, they're going to have this token wavelength, and we'll get a little bit deeper into my thoughts on that here in a second and what I found out. And you'll be able to vote via your wavelength token. The person who receives these tokens can obviously cash them in. More wavelength tokens equals better votes. And the idea is that if you're voting with your money, you're probably going to vote better on who you believe has good ideas. I get it. It's a pretty good idea. It's interesting, but I can see some downsides to that. I could see someone who has a lot of money being able to influence things a lot more their direction because they have a lot more control of the money. I'm guessing they're going to limit the amount that one person can donate. But if somebody is adamant, if it's an activist, if it's a political thing, if it's, I don't know, a revenge thing, I don't know, whatever. Just make up your scenario. I could see someone getting a bunch of people to set up accounts or set up a bunch of dummy accounts because they've got the money to do it and using their money to push around their vote. Okay, I mean, I get the idea. Maybe it would work. Gamification, they're going to have some play to earn games. That's kind of cool, I guess. Form communities. I'm not knocking those play to earn games. I haven't gotten into them. I would really love to. Not that I don't. I love gaming. Time. Just time. Form communities. Creators, bloggers, and their followers can interact within the hub. These customizable servers allow for sharing of content and discussion in a more intimate environment. So naturally, I went over here to read this one. So came over here, wavelength, this was their little form, Web 3.0. We'll briefly go through it, very briefly. Why now? Existing mainstream social media is trying to pivot. They mention things like Facebook, Twitter, all the crazy things that happen on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. Basically, the we're not the other guy pitch, which I'm not very interested in. I understand you're not the other guy. I can see you're not the other guy. I'd rather have policy rather than you telling me, you know, vote for me or use my platform because we're not the other guy. I get it. You're not the other guy. The other guy has not been doing us right. Not really. Not when things come out all the time. But you saying you're not the other guy doesn't make you not the other guy. It makes you the other guy saying you're not the other guy. I mean, I know that was confusing. Anti-big tech sentiment. Yeah, antitrust lawsuits, businesses getting big. When you look down to it and you think it's actually a whole bunch of different companies, in the reality, it's actually one parent company that owns a whole bunch of subsidiaries or shell companies or blah, 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 whatever it is. And yeah, I get it. I get it. We don't like that. That's like Ma and Pa Bell back in the day, where back down here they'll talk about it. AT&T. And yes, I did read this, by the way, for you guys. So this is 30 minutes of my time that I'm never going to get back. You're very welcome. It's basically a whole bunch of fluff. I didn't see much sustenance here. They quote the thing where they want to make anonymity not anonymous anymore. They have some statistics. They got some nice links to the UK's draft online safety bill, but none of that has to do really with telling us what they're going to do or how they're going to do it. In fact, I kind of had to skip all this to really find out what they were going to do, and made some phone calls to some buddies of mine that are a little more closer to things like this, shall we say. And they kind of let me in on, yeah, it's kind of basically, think if Facebook had a cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency was how you gave a thumbs up. And if this cryptocurrency costs you money, then you're obviously less likely to willy-nilly be like, hey, I'm going to give this dumb post over here a thumbs up. You're going to think about it. People are going to have a thought process before making a post because they want your money. It's a good idea. I could see how people can corrupt it, because imagine that. People being people can corrupt things. Anything you can imagine. If a human being gets their hands on it, they can corrupt it. I mean, that's just like human nature. It's almost like what we were born here to do. It's humans. And we can actually profit off that, but that's a story of a different time. I'm a study of human nature and human psychology and the pattern of how humans behave. And I'll tell you what, if you know your history and you want to know how humans are going to behave, all you got to do is go back in time, find a similar situation, and figure out how humans behaved back then, modify it for the modern age, and you're not going to be that far off. And it's a wonderful investment tip. It's a way to look at investments and actually profit off of it based upon human nature and how humans react. I mean, it's astounding. I love it. I have always loved human history and things like that, but that's me rambling. So wavelength, is it a good idea? Jury's out on that one. I see the idea. I don't see it as being the next big thing. It's a nice idea, though. Maybe they can build upon it. But definitely your comments are more than welcome here. Your voice matters. Your opinions matter here. You're a human being. I mean, you've got thoughts, you've got dreams, you've got hopes, you've got fears, just like the rest of us. So welcome to the channel, and definitely give us a comment. More than welcome to have you. We'll see you guys on the next one.